Always.
How's everyone been?
I've been doing. I'll answer for everybody. I've been doing well. We've been picking up a lot of traction with the with all the foreclosure stuff, so it's been really exciting. And today's meeting, I think it was yesterday. I believe we did 89 conversations with all.
Wow.
So a few of them were duplicates. Like we're hammering the phone so hard that when they have an ulterior phone number, a second phone number, we're getting a hold of them on those as well. But so nonetheless, 78 new opportunities in the pipeline. And then the thing that we were going to talk about, where if hopefully tomorrow, if I have time and you have time, we can connect to talk about the drip campaigns of the resources, like the stages of what are the things that people can do to save their home, because everybody wants to save their home first before face the and if they can, hopefully they can save the home, but if they can't, that's when we're able to step in, help out further.
Right, for sure.
Put some of those drip campaigns of some of those resources, in the system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean that should be our first goal, to help them out to save their home till they themselves realize that they don't have an option, So that's the thing. Till then, we definitely have to be all the way in for helping them to keep their home.
Yeah. It's the right thing to do, and that's what they're looking to do. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out for a lot of folks. But I think that's a big differentiating factor between our team and a lot of others out there. Is most people are trying to just get the house, and we're want to make sure they know all their options and where they're at and where they need help, and then have enough time so that, like Miss Coffee there, they don't lose the house because we didn't have enough time to. For you and the team to be able to go do what they need to do to stop it. So
that's I was talking to a homeowner on Monday, and he is just so much in the arrears and so much in, I mean, and other, like two of them, that all these people were just asking them that, oh, we're gonna buy the home, we're gonna help you, but we're going to buy the home. So they were like, it took them to the wrong way, put them more in debt, and, oh, we have a lawyer, we're going to take care of you. And it just kept, get a forbearance so we can, so that way you don't have to pay. Nobody explained that it's like, that's not free money.
Right.
They have to pay that back. And at the end of it, they couldn't do the deal, or they're like, oh, we're going to do a sub 2 and we're going to take over, and they couldn't do it. And here's like 3 months later, they're still, behind another 3 months with fees and all that stuff. And they're like, well, I'm sorry, it's not going to make any money for us, so we're going to leave. That's not the way to take care of somebody.
Wow. That's incredible.
And this is not the first time I see this. It is so sad. And, the wholesaler or the buyer, they don't have nothing to lose. They just like walk away like, I'm sorry, just not a deal for me. It's like, no, you can't do that. There's somebody's life is depend on this. They're counting on your word,
literally. Yeah, literally their home, their life is riding on it.
And it's like they don't know where to go, where they're going to end up and what the situation. You're the only beacon of hope that they have, and then you're dealing them wrong way like that. That karma will come back and get you.
Well,
yeah, well,
imagine that in another area of life. Let's imagine a lifesaver at the beach. He swims out to save a drowning person and says, "Oh, I can't save you," and pushes him under. I mean, that's
right. That's not. Yeah, terrible. That's not. Yeah, that's
criminal,
terrible.
actually.
I had two of the wholesaler did that to me, and I just didn't know how to tell the homeowner that, and by that
Sounds
time it was
frustrating.
just too late to try to save them, because the lender's like, they're gonna, I mean, they dragged it on so much that
Yeah.
they're like, you either gonna close or we're gonna foreclose, and
Yeah.
so it was just not good. And what we have to do is our first step and foremost, finding sources for them to be able to save their home and take care of them, because these information are not publicly advertised. They don't know, and if they know it, they're so afraid to do it. They think that, oh my God, it's not going to happen. It's like, no, you can just go ahead and get it done. And then if you were not qualified, then at least you've gone that path, and we find another path.
Right.
But don't leave the money on the table, because that's like a grant is a free help that you can get.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I think that's
So many little nuances, the more we meet with you, the more I learn about there's little nuances in this whole thing.
yeah,
yeah.
this is just a tip of the iceberg, really.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to.
And yeah, what I particularly like what we're doing as well is it's not just before, it's after as well.
Yeah,
That's I really appreciate Charlotte, because we know if it does end up in foreclosure, we can at least get them any money that is
that
owed
left
to.
over. Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because so many
Yeah.
don't even bother doing that. So
No, they
You
don't
wanna-
know. It's not even bother doing that. They just, homeowner don't know that that is their legal right.
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 They don't know that that is their because none of these are publicly known. They will not gonna have an advertisement about it. You're gonna have
Right.
You're gonna see a bunch of BS advertisement in TV, nothing about how people can save their life, how people can, do these things to save their home and stay in their home. So it is our responsibility that even if we are just 1 in the 1,000, 1 in the 10,000, one by one, it's gonna get that one drop is gonna end up being an ocean, slowly,
It's rewarding helping them, at the most difficult time of their lives.
Yeah. I mean, I have a neighbor here, that I found out that she's going through this, and she's a single mom taking care of her mother that has Alzheimer, and it's just bad situation. And it's like every time, I helped her save her home and stay her home, and every time I pass by, or I see her, here to save, she'd be able to, keep her home, stay in her home, have a roof over her head, and also, keep her investment. Then worked hard for it,
Yeah.
And those are the moments that I live for.
I love it. Nigel, you
Yeah.
mentioned lawyer. What are some situations or reasons that a lawyer would need to get involved from your
Well,
department?
not in our side. I don't ever involve a lawyer unless the property is in a judicial state that they have to, we have to go with the lawyer to file, like, stop the foreclosure, like in Michigan, like in New York, like those states, because those are, the lawyer states. Has to go, the lender has to go to the court to file the foreclosure, and, you know, everything has to be done by the judge and all of that stuff. But
Yeah,
most lawyers prey on these class to get them to do BK, do chapter 13, do chapter 7. Mostly like they get them to do chapter 7
Yeah.
because they won't, they know that they're going to get their money. You know, in chapter 7, they have to sell. They have no choice. You know, in chapter 13, they have to restructure their finances. And
in 7 or 13, they restructure.
in 13,
For
in
13.
7, yeah, in 7, the lawyer just gonna say, oh, you have $300,000 to your creditor. That's, you know, like credit card, whoever is filed, credit card or lender, and they're gonna sell it on that, and whatever is left, he's gonna take it, or on his, you know, his fees and all that stuff. And if the homeowner has, like, for example, credit card or something else, they're not going to get anything out of it for those debt. They still have to owe the, you know, those debts. So, and they don't have an option on, oh, I don't want to sell my house, I don't want to sell my car. In chapter 7, everything is going to be put on, per se, auction, you
Mm.
know, till the lawyer gather up the money that needs to pay his creditor or their creditor, you know, and get it over with. And he doesn't care whatever happened to the homeowner. In
Right.
chapter 13, they have to restructure his finances. And yeah, there's a possibility that he's not going to get qualified, you know? And so these are when lawyer like prey up on it.
Yeah.
And they are the only people that by law that they can get paid while the homeowner is on foreclosure.
Yeah, while they're suffering.
Yeah, for their services, which to me totally is stupid, because these people, you know, some of them legitimately don't have the money. If they did, they would have, you know, bring their past due reinstated.
Right.
And but or sometimes it's so much that they can't pay. Like they got a job and they get their like $3,000 a month. They are be able to pay their mortgage, but at this time they've been already 6 months past due, and that accumulated, and the lender is not accepting, oh, you just pay me $1,000 a month or $500 extra a month. And that's what they get themselves in trouble, that I can pay, but I just can't pay that much, you know? So that's where we have to fight hard for them, that to see if we can't get a loan modification for them that is going to suit their, you know, like, you know, their situation, and they're not going to come out of the pot and fall into the well, you
So
know.
what good does
Get-
chapter 7 do? Because if they end up having to sell the house, they're basically, that's just a way to buy more time.
No, yeah, it will buy more time for them, but at the end of it, they're going to lose the house. So it's going to be, they're going to lose the house in, you know, chapter 7, because the lawyer has no stoppage to sell the home.
Right.
Doesn't have any block to sell
What if there's no equity and it's more of a short sale situation?
it
Doesn't
doesn't
matter?
matter. He's going to sell it to whatever it is,
would we still be able to get in on that?
On those, I mean, for sure we will be able to, you know what I mean? But it's going to be the lawyer will still wants his money.
Yeah. The lawyer will get their money.
Yeah, it will get
but-
their money, and then I don't know how that's gonna work, or even they will do that, because why would I do this? Like at that time, they do have the conversation with the lender that this is
Yeah.
what it's gonna sell, and they're really not going to use anybody like me, like us
So,
for that.
okay, so they're not, okay, so
They're
you're
not
not able to
motivated per se.
necessarily work.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
they're
they're
not
going down that other path.
Yeah, exactly. They're going
And
on
those
the
lawyers usually charge up front anyway, right?
Yeah.
To file for bankruptcy and all that, the
the,
BKs.
the
So one
no,
thing,
they don't charge upfront. They charge at the end.
oh, at the end of it,
Unless the homeowner has keep filing bankruptcy and bankruptcy and bankruptcy and bankruptcy with different lawyer and not going through it, getting it dismissed or not going through it, like they file a bankruptcy and then, they don't qualify. So their bankruptcy going to get dismissed. Then the foreclosure start. And then right before that, they're going to file another one. And same process and same process and same process till the lender finally going to go to the judge and say, look, they have been filing bankruptcy
Yeah, they're
over
playing
and
games.
over. Yeah, they're playing games and trying to, just milk us. So, and the judges that time is like, no, your bank, you no longer can file
Can't
bankruptcy.
play this game anymore.
Yeah.
So Ethan had a good question. He said, does the chapter 7, the lender ultimately puts it up for auction, or they list it on the market and then the highest, bidder goes, or
Yeah.
they put it on the
They
market
list-
and then if it doesn't sell, then it goes to auction?
Yeah, it just all depends what is the intensity of it, how they process it, how they do it is just all different. Sometimes it is on the market, sometimes it's in the auction style. I would say mostly they're gonna put it on the auction style because that's gonna create more FOMO, but per se, it's like people don't want to be when they hear auction, oh, that gotta be a deal or whatever, you know. So,
Yeah.
but in general, yeah, they do it all different way as long as they sell, you know.
Got it.
Yeah,
Um,
and the seller has no right to the home anymore because they've filed Chapter 7.
Right,
And
yeah, it's up to the judge. I remember Pace mentioning something like that, where once they start the BK process, the bankruptcy process, like it's not up to the owner, the homeowner anymore. They're not technically,
Yeah.
now it has to go in front of the judge. The judge has to approve the sale amount and the all of that.
Yeah, and that on Chapter 13, the lawyer will present to the judge their payments and their income. Like,
Yeah.
these are their expenses, this is what they're gonna make. And the judge is gonna decide that are they gonna qualify or they're not gonna qualify. If
Right.
if the payment get qualified, then he's going to go through Chapter 13. If not, they're gonna dismiss Chapter 13. But in Chapter 7, basically the homeowner says, these are my assets and I'm filing Chapter 7, and they're just going to go through and selling them. That means basically on Chapter 7, he's giving away his right of owning these things in lieu of getting, his debt paid off. So
Right.
at that point, he doesn't have no saying of how much, when, what, yes, no, nothing.
How much time does this buy the homeowner when in general? I know it's different because the court systems, the lawyers, there's
Yeah.
so many little nuances, but are we talking month, 2 months, 6 months, a
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, it's basically when they file bankruptcy, till that bankruptcy is active, lender can't not do anything. Even if we do short sell, the bankruptcy has to be dismissed in order for the deal to move forward.
Mhm.
Okay? Unless the lender comes in and say, you know, no, you're playing game and we're not doing it. We're not playing this game. You know, anything that it clouds the title will stop the auction till the lender comes back around and find out why it's been clouded, what
What
is
about
happening,
memorandum?
huh?
Would a memorandum
No,
stop?
no, memorandum is just a lien.
Okay.
And really, they don't really have a right. Memorandum really doesn't have a right to do anything. It's just saying that, oh, I had a contract on this house and I just would like to get paid 20K because I had a contract on this house, which I have my own issue with about the memorandum part, you know,
Mhm.
especially when it comes out to the foreclosure and stuff like that. You know, that's to
Yeah.
me, that's another shark or, you know, in a different water. So that they're preying on, you know, people. But basically memorandum, they're just filing um a lien or uh how do I say it? Just basically filing a, you know, paper that says, you know, I had a right to have like $10,000 out of this house. And if you're selling it, I need to have it. And if if the house get foreclosed on, they're not going to get anything anyway.
So
Yeah.
what happens NAHID if the house has been transferred in the past into a trust?
Uh-huh.
How, is the lender able to put a foreclosure on a house that's in a trust?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The mortgage is not going to be in the trust. The
No,
mortgage,
the house is in the trust. The
yeah, the
house
house
is
is,
in the
yeah,
trust.
the house is in the trust to protect it from other predator.
Right, any debtors. So
Yeah,
especially
any
in
debtors,
Florida,
but not the lender that has a loan, has a mortgage, has lent the money on it, not the lender. You can never ever get a loan on a trust for a
right,
house.
right. But if say I bought a house, bought a house in Florida, okay,
Uh-huh.
it's
Uh-huh.
homestead. It's
Right.
homestead.
Uh-huh.
Once I've closed on it, I put it in my trust. How
Yes.
can the lender even find out who to
They
house of
have the
foreclosure?
original document. They have your note.
But the
It
house is
doesn't,
no longer belongs to me, it belongs to the trust. So does that
it doesn't,
protect?
no, it's not,
Okay,
no, it's not, it doesn't. You still own that mortgage,
right.
you
But I
know,
don't
so
own the house.
therefore, the deed is belong to a trust.
Right,
Okay, so the deed is different than a mortgage.
right.
Okay, so
Yeah, they're two separate
is,
things. Yeah.
yeah, so you is still liable and responsible for the mortgage.
Right. So the
You
lender can
never go.
sue me as an
Mhm.
individual, but they can't come after the house that's in the trust.
Yes.
You see, they can't foreclose on it. So that's a way
No,
of
they
getting.
can foreclose on you. No, they can foreclose on you because you are originally owning that debt. And that debt is backed by a real estate.
I thought there was a law in Florida that they couldn't do that if it's
No.
in a trust. Because
Well,
it's widely taught on the internet that that's a way of protecting your house.
if that's no, if that's the
Okay.
case, then everybody put their house in trust in Florida, and
Right.
everybody gonna own their home. No, that's not the case.
Okay. All right.
You
Well,
know what I
thank you
mean?
for
That's
clarifying that.
just not. You own the debt, and the debt is backed by a real estate. Okay,
Right.
and that is, if you don't pay your debt, they're gonna come and take it, regardless
Mm,
of you have it in a trust or not,
okay.
you
I
know?
wonder why they say put them in the trust to protect them from
They
foreclosure.
put them in the trust to protect them from taxes, from other creditor, like, like credit card, judgment, things like that, but they cannot protect themselves from the mortgager.
Okay. So that's the exception. I've got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can hide themselves behind the trust. That
Right.
owner can hide himself behind the trust, but originally he has the paper that it says this house is belong to me, that the lender has.
Okay. So if the mortgage got sold, and it happens all the time, they have a mortgage with a mortgage company, and they don't
Mhm,
hold on to paper. They get mortgages and then they sell them, like
mhm,
Mortgage Investor Group. That's what they do. They get the loans, they originate the loan, and then they sell them off. So when the mortgages are sold off, does all
mhm.
the paperwork go with the sale
Yeah.
in every case or not? Because otherwise there's no paper and then it's lost
No,
if I
no,
put
no,
it in
no. The
trust.
paper never gonna go away.
Okay.
The paper never gonna go away, no matter what happened.
Mm,
That paper, it's it's like your car title. No matter how many times that car being sold out, that title will stay with the car.
mm,
Okay. So if people keep getting loan, or that, sell it to other people, that is stay with it till that debt is going to get paid. And that is pretty valuable asset, like asset, like a stock in the stock market, that paper,
right.
so that will never go. It doesn't matter how many times like one note could be sold, 5 times in a matter of 2 months,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's never going to go away.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I had a question about the chapter. I don't want to make it bankruptcy night. Maybe we'll
Mhm.
spend the night on
Yep.
bankruptcy, but with 13, with the debt getting restructured, if their mortgage, their car payment, their credit card bill, like all this stuff's getting lumped into one payment, right? That's
Mhm.
basically the concept with 13. If they can't
Mhm.
afford those things individually, how does restructuring it, how
They're
does
not
that
going to get approved. They're not going to get approved for chapter 13.
Okay, so what would be the thing, like if there was equity in the house, would that, like, what is a scenario, like, because the car is not gonna be worth probably anything, right? It's
Yeah.
usually upside down. Credit card
Mhm.
debt, that's not a asset, that's a liability. The only thing they would have going for them is if they have a bunch of equity in the home, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then what, they would take out like a HELOC or work with the mortgage company to restructure in that way? Or
No,
something like
it's they probably gonna get it either, if they can get a loan modification with the lender. If
that?
not, then they're not gonna get approved. On a chapter
Yeah,
13, their
okay,
income has to get
so,
approved for the amount of debt that they have.
okay,
If it's not like the car payment comes and say, oh, my car, my payment is $350. The house, the mortgager comes in and say the mortgage is $1,000, and the other credit card comes in and say is my mortgage is like, but my payment is like $400. All of these comes out to be like, we'll say $2,000, and they making $1,500 a month.
yeah,
Okay, they're not
yeah,
gonna get approved,
yeah.
you
Okay.
know?
Can they bring other people into it then? Cause like when you buy a house, you could have two people on, right? Um,
However many people are on the note, on the
yeah,
loan.
that's who would be in the bankruptcy proceeding.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And, you know,
'Cause that didn't
sometimes,
make sense to me. Like,
yeah,
if
sometimes
I can't
like,
afford the payments, then I go restructure it, then, I mean, how is that really, you know, because usually people aren't gonna be $100 short or $200 short, they're gonna be
a lot short.
short, you know, like that there's a problem. They lost
Yeah.
the job, they lost a relative, they lost some source of income that was helping,
Yeah.
you know, pay for things. Now that's not there. So now this deficit has turned their whole world upside down. The reason
Right.
I'm asking you this is from the practicality point for the team, for the follow-up portion of it, right? So somebody says, "Oh, I got it under control." Okay, hey, that's great news. Fantastic. You know, what's the plan of action here? Are you doing a loan mod? Are you doing a BK? And they're like, yeah, I'm filing for bankruptcy. Okay, chapter 7 or chapter 13? Yeah, I'm going for chapter 13. Okay, awesome. I'm trying to figure out like what is the cadence for when to follow up, right? Like what,
Yeah.
you know, a month
And
later, 2
usually
months later?
probably a month or 2 months later, they would have they would have a court date that they're gonna go through. And the one thing that you know, some people, they go and file chapter 13 on their own.
Yeah, I think
That,
we went into that already.
yeah, that is never gonna go through. That by default is gonna go, it's gonna be dismissed. Because they always have to have a lawyer to stand in front of the judge and put their expenses together and show it to the judge that this is what it is. If they don't have a lawyer, they're just buying time,
Right.
you know? So, and eventually the lender will the judge will kick them out and they're back into the same thing.
So does that foreclosure start all over from the beginning or?
No,
they
it's gonna,
pick up-
they're gonna put an auction date on it.
They put an auction date immediately.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So does the judge not award each debtor a certain percentage in chapter 7 or 13? I mean,
The
no
what?
debtor is going to get 100%. So say the lender, the mortgagee, the credit card companies, you know, maybe the car company, they appear in court with the homeowner. And
Mhm.
does the judge not say, okay, this debtor gets a certain percentage, this one gets a certain percentage?
Yeah, each one of them, yeah, like, you know, depending on the loan, what kind of a loan it is, as far as the mortgage goes. Like, you know, whenever you settle your credit card debt, how much do they get?
Usually very
25% of it, 10%
yeah.
of it, yeah, 5% of
Yeah.
it. That's their threshold. You can push it as far as you could go with
Mm.
those things. Anything commercial or conventional, they can push it as far as it could goes. When it's government backed, guaranteed, it's going to be having a certain percentage that they cannot go any lower, like lower than 70%. Like, you know, HUD has lower than, you know, if it's been in the market for this long, they have it for this percent and that percent as it goes down, and then they had a hard stop, you know, and that's how they work it.
Okay. Does the judge take into account how long the homeowner has owned the property? And no?
No,
Okay.
there's nothing emotional when you get to the court system.
Right.
Unfortunately.
That's why I hate the banks, because a homeowner may have owned the property for 20 years. Maybe they refinanced a few times, and the banks have made a fortune over those 20 years. They got the money back way more than they really owed, you know? We all know those stories, don't we?
That's
Especially,
why we have to be the bank.
yeah,
You don't want to give your money to the bank. You want to
right,
be the bank.
right, yeah. Okay.
You
So
know?
the judge doesn't care that the bank's made lots of money over 20 years. I mean, This
They're
this
all
guy
in
I
it.
talked to the other day, 85 veteran. He'd been in numerous wars, a hero of the nation. He'd been
Yeah.
kicked out of his house at 85 because he didn't have enough money to live off his situation. And
Unfortunately.
I kept having to refi it, right? Banks taking advantage of him like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's kicked out. He's got nowhere
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah. I mean,
So
but on that sense, they can get a reverse mortgage.
yeah.
This is also another option, guys. Remember, they can get a reverse mortgage. The reverse mortgage is they will keep the house. It's like they are going to be owning the house and they're going to pay the homeowner payment. The role are going to be totally reversed. That's what they call it, the reverse mortgage. That they paying now the homeowner the payment on the equity of the house, on the house. And whenever they pass away or they leave the house, then they have a right to own that property. Having equity or not, it's going to be the reverse mortgagee's house. So on people like that they're that old that they can't get a loan, they can't do anything and all of that stuff, reverse mortgage is their best friend. Especially if they have a little bit of equity in the house. Which that seems like the scenario. So that's another option for them. Knowing that as long as they're living in the house, they're getting paid and they just using their house as a cash cow. Yeah.
So I've got a question about
Yep.
When people fall into this spiral and they're
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm behind and blah, 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 it got out of control. All those fines and fees and blah, 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 they add up to so big. It's
Mhm.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
What options? Well, two questions. In that situation, what options do they have to come up with that chunk? And if they cannot come up with that chunk, how do we go about negotiating with the bank for short sale?
Okay. Shorts, there's a couple of things packed in your question. One, when the homeowner fall behind and they, fall into that spiral and just if they don't pay that amount in full, then they automatically are in default. So they can borrow from their 401k if they have a 401k. They can borrow from family. They can get, from credit card, which I don't recommend that. But the number one option, and has to be their very first option, go to their estate. Go to the hardest hit fund. Go to their estate because their estate, depending on where they are, they're going to have a fund. They're going to have a grant, not a fund. They're going to have a grant that is going to pay them all the way till their, even electricity bill, all their arrears and everything that they have been behind. And sometime to the year past and the year forward to catch them up, to help them catch up. And that money paid straight to their lender to zip their mouth. So the lender they love that. because that is just free money and extra money that they're going to get on top of the mortgage that they're getting every month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go over that. I
Yeah.
I couldn't write that fast.
That's
So
you
you
can
said to go to the state
you can Google hardest hit fund.
hardest hit
Hit
fund.
fund. Okay, HHF.
It's in the
That-
chat.
Yeah. I have talked about that before, you
Okay.
know, and I can get it for you guys. So you know,
Is this
it-
part of the COVID relief, the state COVID
No.
relief programs?
no,
Okay.
no. This has been forever. It's been forever. And if you see each state, these are the grant that government has given to the home to to each state to take care of the homeowner in foreclosure. Okay. And if you see like how much and what these, lender has for each state, it totally blows your mind. I'll share my screen so I can just show you a bit of it. So that way you'll be able to see. Okay. This is this state expense allocation. The program fund for Alabama, 135 million. They have to just apply for that. They can just go to the state and say, hey, I need help. But do you see this at all anywhere to anybody? No.
No.
They never, yeah, they will give you a lot of what they call it, information about all the other stupid stuff, all the other stupid stuff that they have or in out there, but not any of these. Like Georgia, 332 million. I mean, all of these are,
Florida's 1
and
billion.
it is a grant. If the state doesn't use it, they will lose it. But do they advertise it? Some of these funds are just gone and poof and wasted because the state nobody knew about it and they lost it. The state lost it. Now they got it back because of the COVID, but yeah, these are the fund that it's available for homeowner and it is free. They don't have to pay it back.
Wow.
They don't have, this is a grant that it's, put them in 2 years. Like I can't even see for the Florida, what is it? 1 point,
Oh my gosh,
Billion?
billion.
yeah,
Yeah.
1.4 to 43 billion. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Some of them are 2 billion there as well. What's that one right at the
Yeah.
top? It's 2 billion.
Yeah, 2 billion. That's California, of course. Yeah, up, and then each like in California is up to $80,000 for the homeowner to get paid for it. If they're behind up to $80,000, they will pay for their arrears, for their electric bill, for their child support, for their daycare that they've fallen behind, water, whatever. So
Wow.
I imagine the homeowner being successful applying for this. I think,
Yeah.
what the heck? Why am I even paying for it? I'll just do it all over again. And
No,
this promotes
I
bad
don't think.
behavior.
No. You can't do that every time. And there is a limit of how many times, and there's a timeline in between, you know, like it's not something that you can take advantage of it.
Well, that's
Hey,
good.
Nahid, how long
Yeah.
does it usually take? Say we have a homeowner that wants to
Literally,
apply for it.
and
How long is the time frame?
it's like about a week. Like I had a homeowner that I'm working with in California. The one thing that they have to be living in the house. It has to be owner occupied. Okay. And I told her to go ahead and apply and see what happens, you know, but I didn't know because her husband has passed away. And she was just like, and took her a couple of hours to fill up the application. And she came back and she was just like, they didn't approve me. I was just like, I'm sorry, what happened? It was like, because I don't live in the house. I'm like, you should have told me, I would have told you. You know? So it is kind of like instantaneous as far as the refusal, because they have a checkbox that they have to check. And as far as the approval, they have to, you know, do the if they kind of like saying what they making, then they have to prove it. And when they get approval, then that would be it. I had a lady that she was a accident attorney. She fell behind and she couldn't pay, and she was just like, you know, I told her to go apply, and she got, you know, she got approved. And they paid all her arrears, and she's now happy, hunky dory, and all that.
Wow,
You know?
that's amazing.
Yep. So it's these are the things that, you know, they don't know. And as a, you know, homeowner advocate, is our responsibility to let them know. You know, how is it, you know, how can I help you? Did you know about this? Okay, you're 85 years old. I'm sorry, you can't work. You can get a reverse mortgage. See if that's going to work for you, because in the reverse mortgage, the houses has to be qualified, not them. You know, have you applied for with your state to see if you're going to be able to get money? Because when that happened and when they apply for that, their auction also is going to get a stop. And if they call the lender, ask for help, you know, the lender will help. Yeah, it's a little tedious process, and like literally the thumb doesn't know what the index finger does. And they, you know, but if you stay on course, they will tell you, have you applied for a hardest hit fund? Have you applied with your state? You know, that is one of your option. If they Google on their portal, it's like, you know, they on their mortgage portal, it is sad. They just Google it. They will find out. But unfortunately, they're so like, you know, as we say in my country, that you know, when you've been bitten by a snake, you're afraid of the black and white rope. It's like when that happened to them, anything talking about lender, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk to them because they're gonna be is this boogeyman that they want to eat me alive. And sometimes they do want to help. And you hear people like have been in foreclosure since 2012. And the lender hasn't foreclosed on them.
Yeah.
You know, and you think like,
Interesting.
yeah, it's like, how is that possible? Because they do want to work with these people. and they're giving them any option that, you know, just come forward, just talk to us, you know? But obviously after, 12 years of that, then there is really no stopping, even if you really legitimately want to work it out at that point and have a buyer and coming in, they're like, I'm not, yeah, what makes me think that you really want to work? You know? So it's kind of interesting. Like the dynamic is very, very interesting. So it's for us to make them understand that the lender wants to help. We know how to talk to them and we know their language, you know. Let us help you. You know? So sorry, my dog is like, you know, stop it. So yeah.
So
It's
what
it
do
is
we,
go ahead.
so then what needs to happen if they have a decent amount of equity in
Mhm.
their home?
Mhm.
But the lender has like hiked everything up so high that they can't sell it for enough to like walk away with anything in order to get settled someplace else.
There is, I've always gotten money for my homeowner
How
for
do
their
you go
moving,
about
but
that process?
well, they, you know, if they can't keep the home, then short sale is always an option, and it's another workout. And what the short sale is, yeah, that was one of your question that I meant to come back to. Short sale is one of the option of the workout. So what that means that the lender will accept to get paid less than what is owed. And they will forgive that amount that they are not going to get. But we have to negotiate that with the lender, you know? And depending again, what kind of a loan it is, then they're going to get a certain percentage of it. And I always get money for my homeowner for their moving expenses, up to $10,000-$15,000, depending on what the lender, you know, what the price of the house is and what their lender's parameter is. So there is money in it for them, versus if they just let go and not do anything, then they're going to lose the house and they're not going to get anything out of it.
So who do we talk to do that negotiation?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to bring it to me and then I'll take care of it. You know, because you have to, first of all, I've been doing this for 24 years. So it's like, you know, you need to know the lingo, you need to know their process, you need to know each one of their nuances, what they're accepting, what they're not accepting, you know, and that's how you have to go. And at that time that we are in, you need to have agents, because it's for them, for the lender has to be a legit arm's length transaction in order for them to accept, to short sell it, to get paid less than what they owe, and they have to know that this is a legit transaction. There's actually a buyer on the other side. They're not wholesaler, they're not playing or anything like that, So therefore, it takes good time. Sometimes it takes anywhere from 6 months to, I have one that it's been going on since November of 2022, because the lender has some internal issue on the loan, So, And, you know, in order for the homeowner to get paid, they need to be living in the house. Otherwise, they're not, you know, they have a moving expense. You know, I'll get them a moving expense. But if they're not living in the house, then there's no moving expenses. And in this whole time, they could be living, you know, for free because they're not paying anyway. You know?
So in this particular case, the gentleman's house was substandard, and eventually a window got broke and there was more stuff they found, and they were like, "You can't live here, dude," and they forced him to leave.
Mhm.
So
And-
he's like
Mhm.
sleeping on somebody's couch.
Mhm.
So he's not living there anymore, technically, but
Mhm.
he doesn't have another place, technically. So is
he's-
that something that they would consider?
Who told him that he cannot live there?
Code enforcement.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, if it's been evicted by code enforcement, then he's not going to be able to get any money. I mean, we can only ask,
Right.
we can only ask, but
Right.
for sure, if he let it go to foreclosure, he's not going to get anything. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the bank won't find out about the code enforcement because they don't know about each other, but they definitely will come and check the house, do a drive-by to make sure that there is somebody living in the house or not, if the house is not vacant. And if the house has been boarded up by code enforcement, then, you know, it's kind of like not gonna give them anything.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
any other question? I hope that this was you know, you guys learned a couple of things here.
Wait, I had one. The buzzer beater shot. So you and I talked about it briefly, but I was hoping you'd kind of break it down a little bit more. So, there was a homeowner where he ended up losing the home. It already sold. It was like an HOA lien though. So they
Oh, my.
foreclosed on the house, HOA lien, and there was also back taxes. He accepted that the house was gone. It's cool, but he was concerned about HOA coming after him to try to get their money. So in foreclosure, does that all wipe away, or he still has to be concerned?
The HOA, in some state, HOA they call it a super lien state. Like the HOA is one of the liens that can foreclose and wipe out. And then they take the actual mortgage on a subject too, you know? So, and that's kind of sad because how much is the lien for HOA? You know, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 versus 300,000, you know? Or same thing as taxes. Hey, same thing as tax lien, you know? Is the same, but tax lien will wipe everyone out. Tax lien wipes everyone's out. That's why even the lender are afraid of the tax lien. And they want you to have your mortgage, you know, your taxes and insurance included in your escrow. Have your escrow included in your mortgage, you know, because they don't want to have any of that happening, that in case you don't pay your taxes and then, you know, it goes to foreclosure and then they're out, you know? So Yeah, I mean, on that part, he is it becomes like a judgment. You know, it becomes like a judgment. They can come after him as a judgment to get that money from him, the HOA. You know what I mean? On the paper, like in the mortgage on the house, that lien will be wiped out when it gets foreclosed, if it gets foreclosed by mortgage, you know, by lender. But they can come after him for the money. It will be taken off for the house, but it's not going to be taken off from him. You know?
Got it.
So,
Okay, cool.
any other question?
Oh. Go ahead.
No?
What's the best way to contact you the next time I need somebody to negotiate a bank?
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
just see your name.
yeah. You can find me in. Are you part of sub 2? That's. I'll
I-
put you.
I
Put
work
you guys
with
my
sub
email.
2.
Huh?
I said I work with sub 2, but I can't
Oh,
really
okay.
work to.
Okay. You
I'm
can
one of
find.
the cool kids.
Yeah, we all cool kids. So you can reach me at NAHID at Mortgage Rescue Nationwide. I'm gonna put that in, you know. That's my email. And or you can text me at my number. Okay.
We were gonna try to get to some call calibrations tonight, but it looks like we'll do that next week. I think Ally, maybe tomorrow. I don't know what you guys got planned for tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the call calibrations for the foreclosure calls mañana.
Yeah, tomorrow we have a pretty special day. So I know we kind of just got done talking about foreclosures. So tomorrow, guys, if you're actually interested in calling foreclosures, we pulled, it's probably more than this now. We're probably higher than this, but so far this month we've pulled 11,000 records just for foreclosures. This stuff is coming straight from county. So literally the ink is still wet on the paper when they send it to these homeowners. So
Wow.
if you guys want some of these leads, we have them for a very specific amount of counties right now, but we're just doing a little raffle. It's completely free. The leads are already skip traced. You can take them, run with them. If you get stuck or you need help, bring it back to us. But mainly this is something we just want to give to you guys. Just make sure you comment on this post because we're doing the raffle tomorrow. All right. And we're going to pick 2 people, and that's who's going to get data for free.
Let's go.
All
Wow.
right.
Pretty
Let's
awesome.
go. That's awesome.
We try.
Yeah.
All right. Next week, we're giving away business coaching by Shad.
Next
Shad
week is
had
a
a clear
car.
schedule.
The
Oh,
week
that's
after that, it's a set of steak knives. All right.
That's it.
Slice them and dice them.
Right,
Are the steak
baby.
knives slightly used? Or are they new ones?
Could be. Little mixed bag, you know, a couple new, couple used. They're not used, TJ, they're seasoned. Okay.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. you
That's
guys are
what we'll do though.
really
So tomorrow should be pretty fun. We'll do some call calibrations, maybe to even get you guys ready to call some of these leads. We'll do some role plays, some foreclosure role plays, and kind of show you guys what we're doing and how those conversations are flowing. So that's that. And then also, if you guys haven't already, we are trying really hard to get this to 1,000 subscribers, right? We get a special prize when we get to 1,000. So if you haven't, please be sure to go ahead and join the REI Conveyor Belt YouTube channel. Of course, all of our nightly trainings are here, but also we're going to start doing some other content as well. One that is super top secret, not even Shad knows about it. And the other one, we're going to be doing some live seller calls. We're going to be doing that tomorrow, actually. So stay tuned in the Facebook group and YouTube, and we'll do some live calls. But that's all I got.
What do they have to do to win the list? Like invite people or what?
Yeah. So for the list, just comment below, comment here, just say me. And your name is going to be entered in the raffle. We're going to put it on a picker wheel, get it spinning, pick 2 people at random, but you have to be here. So Shad, if I roll your name and you're not here, we're skipping you.
Come
All
on,
right.
man. No special treatment around here.
No
This is
special
crazy.
treatment. Okay.
This is
But
crazy.
yeah, we'll be back here again, same time, same link. If you guys know anybody that wants a list or, doesn't want to pay for it, because skip tracing costs a lot of money. Yeah, it's a free list. Have fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is cool.
I'll
Good
post
stuff.
that in
Lovely.
Facebook tonight. Send me
Awesome.
that
Appreciate
link.
it.
Send me that link and I'll post it.
How do I send you the link? What link?
But I
Just
mean,
repost it.
sorry, but yeah, never mind. I'll just go there and I'll do it. Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think if you
Yeah.
click on the post, it gives a custom link, right? Let's
Yeah.
figure out Facebook real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
So is this the link?
Yeah, that's a unique link. Yeah.
Okay.
And
There you
then can you share, like, are people allowed to share that post?
Mhm.
I've actually put it in a couple of different Facebook groups. I'm trying to see if they're going to kick me or not. So,
Yeah. I mean, if you just post it on your own Facebook group with your friends, because you are friend with those people on those
Other people,
other
yeah.
Facebook group, is automatically they're gonna see it,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I'm gonna share it. I'll share that
Yeah.
post with you, Ellie. That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
we already got some people signed up. So, I mean, hey,
Let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
all right. But yeah, that was it. I just wanted to bring that up.
Perfect.
Awesome. No, Adrian, thank you so much. As always, a wealth of knowledge. We're always learning, growing. I'm super excited for every time you hop on here. We can bring our questions and learn so much from you.
No problem.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We all appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes.
Anytime, I'm here. Okay,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah.
welcome. You guys have a good night, okay? See you
Alright,
next
bye
week.
guys. See you
Everyone.
guys
Bye.
tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Thanks,
guys.